Let's welcome Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, love having you on. Okay, we would love to hear your reaction when you saw NBC, the Washington Post, the New York Times doing major retractions of erroneous stories, claiming the FBI had warned Rudy Giuliani and One America they were targets of a Russian disinformation campaign to damage Joe Biden. Okay, they said they confirmed this with multiple anonymous sources. What's happening here?
Well, I don't know exactly what exactly Mayor Giuliani and OAN heard from the FBI. All I can tell you is what I heard. First of all, I didn't need any defensive briefings. As chairman of the European Subcommittee of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, I held hearings on Russian disinformation almost as soon as I became chairman back in 2013, 2014. So I'm well aware what Russia does, but we'd actually requested some defensive briefings on, for example, Andrei Teleshenko. We were told repeatedly that they had no derogatory information on him and we could be talking to him. And we were only speaking to Andrei Teleshenko based on his employment with a Democrat lobbying firm in D.C. and his involvement with the Obama White House and the Obama State Department. And so when I was briefed on August 6th, I felt that briefing was a complete setup, which, by the way, had been set up in the past where it had been leaked that I had been briefed on, Russian disinformation or, be careful about information I got out of Ukraine. And my reaction always was, duh. I understand exactly how you have to take everything you hear of that region with a grain of salt. And so I always felt that August 6th, 2020 briefing was a political setup. And that's basically now they've sprung the trap. They've done exactly what I thought they would do, is they would use that briefing, say that Senator Johnson was warned about Russian disinformation, and he proceeded anyway. Well, I would ask anybody who takes a look at our report, where is there any Russian disinformation? Is it Russian disinformation that Hunter Biden entered into a sleazy relationship with Mykola Zlochevsky and Burisma and got paid $4 million for what? What expertise did he have? There's nothing Russian disinformation about that. It's wrong. And George Kent admitted that it was awkward for the State Department that he entered into that conflict of interest. There's nothing about Russian disinformation there at all. Those are just the plain facts.
We hear you. Let's break this down. So we saw anonymous stories during the Trump-Russia collusion push that went after Trump and his team. We see the same kind of thing going on here. Rudy Giuliani gets a Hunter Biden laptop and has photos on it, emails on it, allegedly connected to Hunter Biden. Kind of, I would have to say, not stuff that's G-rated, much of it. And then you have the FBI under Biden doing the same thing that the FBI under Obama did, going after Rudy Giuliani based on Foreign Agents Registration Act violations. That's what Peter Strzok and James Comey went after General Michael Flynn on that. And then you have, according to your report on Hunter Biden's overseas business dealings, he used shell companies, reportedly, to avoid having to register under FARA and to avoid violations of FARA, burying the overseas business dealings and the cash flow in shell companies. You see the irony there?
Absolutely. There's obviously an unequal administration of justice in the United States nowadays. It's very sad to see. But, I go back to that text that we highlighted between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, where on December in 2016, Strzok text Page, our sisters are leaking like mad, scorned, worried, political. They're kicking into overdrive. What's he talking about there? Well, he's talking about the leaks to the news media about Russian collusion with the Trump campaign, which was completely false. And the mainstream media has never outed the sources that provided them completely false information. They're doing the exact same thing now in 2021. It's shameful, but it's just proving that the mainstream media is completely biased. They're part and parcel of the Democrat Party, and I hope America is waking up to this reality.
And the question is, why didn't the U.S. Attorney just issue a subpoena on Rudy Giuliani? Why do they have to send more than half a dozen FBI agents to bash down the door? Senator Ron Johnson, we're going to talk to you more about this. You're saying they clearly tried to target you, trying to warn you you're a target of Russian disinformation in order to leak about that later on to discredit you and Chuck Grassley's investigation into Hunter Biden and the Biden corruption, the family's corruption and their business dealings overseas. Those are the allegations. Is that it? Final word.
Yeah, It was a completely useless briefing. It was only done to set me up, and they're basically doing that right now. It's sick. And I would also ask, what was the SWAT team arrest of Roger Stone? We're seeing this is part and parcel of the exact same process that's going. This is thoroughly corrupt. It is a deep state.
Okay.
Americans should be concerned about it.
Senator Ron Johnson, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.